October 31st. My gritty cheeks are clenched for the holidays. Even with the pain, hidden in my bowel is the nutrients waiting to come out like snakes. And I'm there too. 2 weeks of constipation has turned me into an internal time bomb. I have a squatty potty now for when it's needed. But when that stool hits the floor, it's not just a tool. It's a warning to the house. Smell is a tool. They think I'm the shit. Bitch, I'm not even the fart. Alright, that's enough. Welcome to the Halloween edition of the 1231 podcast. God, this is such a mess. I barely bought this mask. I was gonna borrow my buddy Ricardo's for the podcast, but I was too lazy to go pick it up. But as you can see, I have some decorations going on. They're not the greatest, but we have the mask, which is the 8-year-old costume that I just bought from Walmart, and as you can see, my buddy over here is wearing it. This is actually Ben Affleck's Batman because he got canceled in Cannes. Alrighty, there you go. You could wear that. I'll just leave it right here. And then you can see we got some police tape, and then we have this little black webbing. And then look at this fucking guy right here. Hold on. Let's see if he turns on. He's not going up anymore. The spider is supposed to go up. What a waste of money. Go up, you douchebag. Are you serious right now? Oh my god, this is horrible. Whatever, this spider is supposed to be climbing up a web, and he was earlier, but whatever. This is the special October 31st edition. If you're wondering why I did this whole Batman intro, if you haven't watched The Batman, the movie that came out in 2022 with Robert Pattinson, in the beginning of the film, he does a little monologue on Christmas night. What the fuck is wrong with me? On Halloween night. He starts the movie off by saying Thursday, October 31st, which I have deemed as the Batman day. So this year, Halloween, October 31st has fallen on a Thursday, which is fucking dope sauce. So I did a little stupid intro about it. And yeah, we're going to be hopping into the Halloween edition. It's going to be Halloween kind of. I'm mostly just going to be talking about Batman stuff because I don't really celebrate a lot of the Halloween things going on. But yeah, I do love Batman a lot. Sorry, I think I just wanted to pose for the thumbnail because for the past couple thumbnails, I've just been like scrolling through the whole podcast and looking for whenever I smile. So if I could just get a little one there, it'll save me a shit ton of time. But yeah, I got my Batman shirt on. This one I got like at Goodwill or something, and it actually comes with the cape and shit. Yo, it's fucking dope. But yeah, I was gonna have the mask on the whole time, but I decided I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna post a cover later because I thought it would be funny if I put on the Batman mask and then I sing "Creep" by Radiohead and then I post it on TikTok. I think that's pretty funny. So I think that's totally Robert Pattinson's vibe, I guess. But yeah, let's hop into the podcast. Honestly, today's it feels like Halloween today. It's really dark today. It was raining earlier this morning. Where I stay at, it's raining. It's like really cloudy outside, and yeah. Let's see. In the Batman news, the Cape Crusader show. I don't think I've talked about that on the podcast. But if you don't know what that is, it is a animated Batman series that looks like it's from the 70s or something like that. It really just looks like the Batman the animated show from, I don't know when it came out, but with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. But that show came out on Amazon Prime, and it's pretty good. I like the animation. I like the stories that they're telling. But it just doesn't feel that fresh, you know. It just feels like they wanted to make something that has already been made, sort of. So, yeah, I thought it was good, but you know, I kind of want some new stories, like some new additions, sort of like what's going on with the Absolute. Is it Absolute? I think that's what it's called, the Absolute Batman and the Absolute DC storylines that have been going on. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty dope. There's like these new comic book runs where they flip the stories on like origin stories of like all the DC characters. So for the Batman, it turns out that Batman was Bruce Wayne in this universe was a like collar worker, and like a blue collar worker, and his dad was like a miner, and like his Bruce Wayne turned out to be like an engineer, and he's like this fucking 6'7" brute. If you don't know what he looks like, I'll put him up there, the Absolute Batman. He's fucking huge, bro. So he didn't grow up with money in this universe, and the Joker is actually the one with money. He's like one of the richest people in the world, and the reason they call him the Joker in this universe is because he never laughs. He never tells a joke. That is why they call him the Joker, which honestly, that's pretty cool. That's like pretty like a good flip on the story, you know. I think that's pretty dope. They also did some different additions for like Superman and Green Lantern, and I think Supergirl, I think is who they did some for. But yeah, that's pretty dope. Honestly, I want to read some new comic book stuff. I want to read some new Batman stories. I also got this shirt from Family Thrift Center. It's the Batman shirt. It looks pretty dope. It's like green, and it has the Riddler, and it has a bunch of question marks. Look, watch this. Look at this. Look at that. To the Batman. Isn't that dope? I love the promotion for this movie. Like the posters that they put out, like to the Batman, it's a question mark, and it's also Batman's cowl. And then also I did I got these little fangs that they're retractable, but I didn't read when I bought them. They actually have some like dental glue, and I was like, yeah, I'm not down for that. I was gonna have them on, but I thought that was like a little too much. So yeah, I ain't doing all of that, brother. I ain't doing all that. Let me see where we're at, because I did start recording the I tried to do the intro like once or twice and it didn't work out, but let's see. We are at probably like at 6 minutes. I don't know. You'll see it on your end. Let me know if y'all like that intro too. I fucked with the music and everything and the rain sound effects. But yeah, let's see what else has been going on. They also announced this new Robin show. I think it's called like the Dynamic Duo or something. It sounds really interesting. So if you haven't heard of it, it's a new show that DC has greenlit. I think Matt Reeves, which is the director of the Batman in 2022, he's producing it. It's like about I think it's Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, which are two Robins, and it's gonna be like in this cool animation style, which is like a mix of animation and real life effects, like in motion capture. It sounds really interesting, but it's also like I'm not sure how like the fighting choreography and sequences are gonna go, but maybe it'll be really dope. I'm excited to see that. I really like. I remember they canceled a Batman Beyond animated movie. That would have been so insanely dope, dude. It would have looked like Into the Spider-Verse kind of, but more in a futuristic way, because Batman Beyond, if you don't know who Batman Beyond is, I feel like I'm doing a lot of explaining this episode. If you don't know who Batman Beyond is, his name is Terry McGinnis. I believe, I don't know if this is the certain origin story of his, but the government, or like Amanda Waller, if you don't know who Amanda Waller is, she is the leader of like or like the director of the Suicide Squad. If you don't know what the Suicide Squad is, it's a organization that uses criminals to do like missions that are too dangerous for like the regular military, or like that the government wants to do, like secretly, so like the public doesn't know about it, so they just use villains because like they can kill them off if they need to, but and it takes time off their sentencing. But yeah, so Amanda Waller wanted to create a Batman, so I believe it went like that. They wanted to find a kid that had rich parents and everything and kill their parents or something, but they couldn't do that. Like, I think morally they didn't want to do that. This origin story might be wrong. I may butcher it a shit ton. It may not be like this, but essentially what they did was they got a bit of Bruce Wayne's DNA, and then they made a clone of him, and he grew up to be Terry McGinnis. And one day Terry McGinnis is getting chased by the cops, and he stumbles into the Batcave. And this is way in the future when Batman is like an old ass man. Bruce Wayne is like fucking like 70 years old. He has like gray hairs. He uses a cane to walk. Alfred is dead, so it's just him lounging around in the house. And he gets an alert that somebody's like in his Batcave, and so he goes to check, and it's Terry McGinnis. And then he decides that he was going to train Terry McGinnis to be the new Batman, and he turns into Batman Beyond, which is he's basically a Bruce Wayne clone. This is what he looks like. He looks super badass. It's a really cool suit, honestly. It's really different. It's like skin tight, and like the mouth is like, it looks like it's I don't know. It's just way different to like a normal Batman suit, because like it's all over his face. Like, and this is what the Batman animated Batman Beyond movie would have looked like. It looked super dope. Looked super futuristic. The animation could have been really cool, but DC canned it. DC does have a lot of stuff like going on, so I don't blame them for canning a lot of stuff, but you know, you got to take some risks every now and then, you know, like do something different. But I guess that's what they're doing with the Dynamic Duo show, but I feel like it's way too late for that, but we'll see when it comes out. Yeah, Batman Beyond Dynamic Duo is really, really cool. The Penguin show I have not caught up with. It is like on its 7th episode or something. It's because on Sundays I've usually been busy the past Sunday, so I haven't been watching them. But I'm like 2 episodes behind at this point. I need to really catch up with them. Sounds like a plane. But yeah, I like the beginning of this show, but now it's slowing down a bit for me. The last episode I saw was Sophia changing her name. Spoiler if you haven't seen it. I doubt you guys are watching it, but yeah, it's been, I really liked the Penguin in the first couple episodes, but he does, I don't know, I feel like it's falling off for me a bit. I'm a little less interested, but I feel like that happens a lot with a lot of shows that are like drama based, I guess, like that I just lose interest a shit ton. But yeah, I totally forgot. I don't know if you guys remember, but when before the Batman in 2022 came out, before Colin Farrell agreed to be the Penguin, I don't know if you guys knew this, but it was actually going to be Jonah Hill. Isn't that insane? Like, I feel like that would have been such a different movie if it had Jonah Hill in it instead. I can't imagine what he would have looked like. Like, I can't imagine him embodying the character the way that Colin Farrell has embody the character, but it fell through supposedly because Jonah Hill like wanted like $3 million to play the role when Robert Pattinson was only getting paid like $1 million, which is insane because Penguin is like in the movie but like hardly, and like Robert Pattinson's basically in the bat suit 24/7 for that movie, so that's insane. But what's it called? Yeah, it's that would have been a way different movie, I feel like. But yeah, now the DCU is changing, and I don't think the Batman's gonna be announced for a freaking while. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not gonna be announced for like another 5 years. Who the Batman is gonna be and when the movie's coming out, because I don't know. I feel like they don't want to do another Batman for a little bit because Robert Pattinson's universe just started, and uh, they did Batman so quickly in the DCEU with Zack Snyder and everything. So like I feel like they want to slow it down, which I think is a really good idea. Like I feel like bringing Batman in later on would just refresh the franchise after like 5 years. Like after you've already built up the Justice League, and then you have Batman come in, which is like he's his own character. Like he's such a different character compared to everybody else on the Justice League. So I feel like he would disrupt them in a way. Like he would bring something different to the movies that like hasn't been done before. So it would, or like that the Justice League hasn't seen before. So it would be an interesting dynamic to see like after a few years, after like Superman has already been the leader of the Justice League or something, like David Cornsweet has been the leader of the Justice League for a while, or even the Justice Society or something, whatever they're doing. Um, and then Batman comes in because Batman's like his own. He's like a force of nature, you know. He's a crazy man. But yeah, it is gonna be The Brave and the Bold, which is a storyline about what's it called, about Batman and his son Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is the son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. They may end up changing it, but Talia al Ghul is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, who is a like an immortal ninja cult leader, kind of really like sort of mystical but kind of spiritual, and he's been immortal because of the Lazarus pit. The Lazarus pit is like this pit. It's like a little pool of like this liquid that keeps you from dying, and it like heals you, and it can revive people. But it doesn't always work, I guess. Sometimes, I don't know. I remember in the Arkham series, like the effects weren't working as well on Ra's al Ghul in that franchise, so it started like killing him instead or something like that. But yeah, that movie, it's already been announced, The Brave and the Bold. It's not gonna have a middle-aged Batman. I saw somebody tweeted like a fake like scoop account, like was like, DCU's Batman is gonna be a middle-aged Batman with his son Damian Wayne, and then James Gunn replied or like retweeted, whatever it's called. What is it called? Like when you quote tweet or something like that. He just put bullshit or something like that. Quote me if I'm wrong, but he just put like bullshit. So hopefully, I mean, he has to be young. They can't cast an old Batman because they want them to be around for a while, you know? They need like at least oldest 35 or something, you know? Like this Batman does have to have some years on him, obviously, because he has Damian Wayne, and Damian Wayne looks at least like 15 or something. So unless he had the kid at 20 and he's 35 in the franchise, or he had the kid really young, which, I mean, if they want to do that, I feel like it could make sense because he's like a reckless kid, and like Batman's like reckless and Bruce Wayne's reckless, but it would just feel weird. I feel like it would feel out of character for Batman to have a kid that young running around with you, especially your own kid, you know. But I mean, he does have Robins with him all the time, you know, like Dick Grayson, and even, you know, like Barbara Gordon. These are kids running around with him, and they're not even his kids. So I don't know, but the director that's set to direct it is Andy Muschietti, I think is his name. He directed the It movies and the new Flash movie that came out, which was not that great. And I don't know, I feel like that movie wasn't really his fault. because I feel like a lot of the times, like, the directors get all the slack, but like they didn't really write the movie. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these directors don't write the movies. They just like set up shit so it looks like the way it was on like the drawing board. You know, if you know what I'm saying, like. Most of the time it's not really their fault, you know, and especially the actors too. Like, the actors don't write the movie, but at the same time, as an actor, I've always been confused by this. Like, if you read the script and you still join on to do a shitty movie, like, that's on you, bro. Like, how do you not know a movie's gonna be good? Like, you know, you just sort of know, especially if you work in the industry and supposedly you watched all these great movies and you know what film is, but you still sign on to do a crappy movie that has like plot holes and things that make no sense to happen throughout the film. And then you're like, oh, I read the script and it was one of the greatest scripts I've ever read in my life. It's like, bro, and then the day it comes out, it's critiqued to hell because you couldn't read the flaws, or like even while you were filming it, or even after when you watched it and it was already finished, you couldn't see the flaws. But I don't know. But yeah, Andy Muschietti, I don't know how to say his last name. He's gonna be directing the movie, and like I said, I don't think The Flash was mostly his fault. I did hear there was a lot of rewrites, there was a lot of reshoots, and it was at the lowest point of the DCEU. You know, they were rebooting the franchise and all the drama with Ezra Miller. Oh my God, that must have been horrible to do, you know, like, but he did put himself as a cameo, getting his hot dog stolen. I think that's what his cameo was. But I would do the same thing if I was a director, and I would put myself in like every movie, but not like Quentin Tarantino's freaky, dirty ass. Have y'all seen what he did? He directed a movie with Salma Hayek, and he made her be a stripper, and then he made her put her foot in his mouth and pour alcohol down her leg so that it would go to his mouth. What a freak, bro. You're disgusting, dog. And I don't want to say you're Dan Schneider, but you're pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. You guys see what I did there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's freaking hot. I have these pajamas on. I turn my fan off when I record these because if not, you would hear the fan hella. What you're hearing right now is my air purifier. You hear that? But yeah. Anyways. There's been a lot of iconic Batman scores, if I'm being honest. Isn't it crazy that Danny Elfman made the Batman 89 with Michael Keaton's and Tim Burton's Batman? He made that score. What a cool album cover too. Isn't that such a dope? That's like perfect. That's like mwah, that's beautiful, that artwork for Batman, the album. That's so cool. But yeah, that's one of the most iconic. And then he went on to do Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Isn't that so cool? How does that one go again? I always forget it. Spider-Man. I don't know. Who cares? This is not about Spider-Man. But yeah, he's made some of the best scores in the industry. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty badass. I really want to make scores as well. Oh, I actually made a I don't know if I talked about this last podcast, but I made I was writing a like Spider-Man short film, and I actually made like a little previs scene for a scene in one of the scenes that I wrote for a Spider-Man short film, and I made music for it and everything, and I'll show it probably in the next podcast. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I made the music on GarageBand, and it uses like a eerie I don't know if it's a cello or something, but it's like it sounds like it's an 80s horror film, because in that scene it's like an intense, scary scene sort of. But yeah, I'll explain that in the next podcast. But yeah, that's a pretty cool project I had I was working on. But it just took a lot of work, and I don't know, writing is such a hard process. I give my respect to all the writers in the industry, bro. It must be tough trying to write shit on a deadline and like making it good and making it like not redundant or like not basic. And yeah, that's like one of the hardest jobs in the world, I feel like. But yeah, I had recorded something and it was pretty dope. But yeah, Arkham Batman. If you guys don't know what Arkham Batman is, it's the video game series. If you guys have not played the Arkham series, boy, you're missing out. They revolutionized superhero video games and honestly like storytelling games in general. It was such a good. The first game that came out was Arkham Asylum. So imagine you are locked inside of an insane asylum as Batman, and all of the villains you have locked up over the years are now free because the Joker has taken control of the asylum. That is the premise for the first game, Batman Arkham Asylum. And then the second game was a little bit bigger inside of a city. So the next game was called Batman Arkham City. Arkham City was basically like a project that Quincy Sharp, I believe, made. It was like to set a section of Gotham City as like a big prison inside of a city, like with fucking huge 50-foot walls of and all the villains. They dumped all the villains inside and all the criminals inside of Arkham City, and Hugo Strange and Ra's al Ghul was behind the whole thing. So imagine you're inside of a city of just criminals, of all your greatest villains as Batman. You're inside of that city trying to figure out what's going on because there's obviously a master plan going on. And then in the third game, and there's been some other games, I'll explain those, but in the third game, it's Batman Arkham Knight. So in Arkham Knight, you're finally inside of Gotham City itself, and and Scarecrow has taken control of the city. He has a new fear toxin. If you don't know who Scarecrow is or what he does, Scarecrow was like a psychologist, I think, and he created a toxin that he injects into you, and all your greatest fears come out due to like your brain chemistry. He puts like a toxin in like all the certain parts of your brain that control your fears are like enhanced or whatever, so all you see are your greatest fears. So he created a cloud burst, which basically is like it's a toxin that spreads throughout the air, and it's like all over Gotham. And so basically the whole city has to evacuate, and only the villains are there. And at the end of the night, Scarecrow is gonna like release the cloud burst, and like all of Gotham is gonna be inhaled in fear toxin. I think that's how it goes. It's something like that. And then there was a prequel as well called Batman Arkham Origins that came out between Arkham City and Arkham Knight. This one takes place 2 years before Arkham Asylum. And then in that one, you're like you're very, very new Batman. You've only been doing Batman stuff for like 2 years or something like that. I don't remember how long, 6 years maybe. And you're trying to take down Black Mask. And then Black Mask actually puts out a hit on you because nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows if you're a good guy or a bad guy. But so basically you have like 8 of the top assassins trying to kill you. And it's a pretty badass premise. Arkham Origins was really slept on for all those Arkham fans out there. Sorry, my phone's on like a bunch of pillows, so every time I move, it moves as well. My bad. I'm sorry for the motion sickness and things like that. And I have my laptop right here. That's why I keep looking over here to make sure everything's good. And yeah, let's see. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Let's see. I'm probably gonna end this in a little bit. Dude, one thing I want to say is Halloween candy corn fucking sucks, bro. Tootsie Rolls suck, bro. If you're giving out candy corn, oh, I hate candy corn with a passion, bro. It tastes disgusting. I don't know how people like candy corn. It's so nasty. I hate it. It's shaped weird. It tastes like rubber and like fake vanilla. I hate it. Candy corn is disgusting. If you like candy corn, if you like root beer, you're disgusting. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. That's like all my notes. Oh no, I have a few more notes actually. Just like 2 more. I do want to say rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. He was the voice of Batman in so many things, and he was the greatest Batman. He was the voice for the Arkham Batman, and he's just so iconic. He had the best voice for it, and it just sucks not being able to hear his voice in any more things, man. It's so sad. But I think he had cancer or something, but he lived a long life, and rest in peace. But yeah, the Batman 2 is coming out in a few years, and there's been a lot of speculation for who the villain should be. I want to give my input on that. I don't think it should be another murderer type killer, like a street level killer, because a lot of Batman villains are really similar. Like the Riddler would be too similar to Hush and the Riddler would be too similar sort of to like the Mad Hatter, because like they're all just like insane and like killers, and it would just be a wild goose chase sort of thing. I feel like the 2 top best contenders, obviously the Joker's out of the picture at the moment, because they already said, and it's everybody's opinion, that nobody wants to see the Joker out again already, especially after Folie à Deux, but I think it should either be I want us to be a little more not so street level for this movie. Still obviously street level, but I want it to be like the Arkham games. I feel like if they had a more mythical villain, not like so flamboyant and everything, but like more not so grounded, I feel like it would add just a bit more to make it feel even more like Batman. If they had somebody, and these are my 2, I'll say the first one first. If they had like Clayface, a rendition of Clayface where like I think I've explained this on the podcast before, but Clayface, he was an actor and he got into an accident, and like he was able to mold his face, so like he's an actor at heart. So if it's just like a normal guy that just has a disfigured face that can like, but then also that turns into Hush kind of, because Hush, what he does is like he was like a doctor, and he like cuts people's faces up, and he gets different parts of people's faces to like disguise himself as other people, but that kind of could, if they mix up like Hush and Clayface to be like another, I guess he could be like another serial killer, but it would be different because it has the Clayface mythical element to it. It wouldn't be so grounded. I think that would be pretty cool. Like imagine Robert Pattinson fighting like a clay monster. It would be so dope. Yeah, that's one of them. It's Clayface. And obviously the next one is, a lot of people have been saying it, it's Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze would be a dope ass villain as well, because the streets are all in the water. And also right now I just saw that the last Penguin episode or something like that, it's winter time inside of Gotham, so maybe that's what they're setting up for. Who knows? But yeah, I think Mr. Freeze would be really dope as well. There hasn't really been a Mr. Freeze in a while. There hasn't really been a Clayface ever, I don't think, on the big screen. So yeah, I think those 2 would be a pretty good contender. They already had the Riddler, they have the Joker, they've had the Penguin. Unless they do like a big absolute brute Bane, that would be pretty cool as well, and like Batman has to like outsmart him. But this Bane would have to be smart as well, not like Tom Hardy smart, but like the Bane from like Arkham Origins would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited for the Batman 2, man. I really don't know what direction they're gonna go in. It's like you could go in any direction. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call the episode. I think we're at the 30-minute mark, so yeah, I'm dropping this a day early on Halloween, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a nice and safe Halloween. Stay dry out there if it's raining wherever you're at. Stay safe. Don't eat everything that you get. And yeah, I think I'm going to call it. This is your friendly neighborhood. There's a fucking plane going on. This is your friendly neighborhood Batman. And I am vengeance. Good night, you guys. Peace out.